Today on the channel, it's that time of year again as we got Ringside Fest with Ringside Collectibles in Mattel showing off brand new Ultimates, Elites, Basics, and Exclusives.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another Ringside Collectibles Mattel Ringside Fest recap. And today, we're recapping day 1 and day 2 of Ringside Fest. Of course, a lot of discussion with Bill and Steve from Mattel, of course, Ringside themselves, and then, of course, special guest Mick Foley, Dominic Mysterio, Rhea Ripley, quite the all-star cast for Ringside Fest. And Ringside Fest, going back all the way to the Jax days, always a great time to get some announcements, some new figure releases, things like that. We got all of that here today. We're talking Ultimates, we're talking Basics, we're talking Elites, we're talking Ringside Collectible Exclusives, we're talking Retros. We got a lot of stuff to talk about here, but let's start it off. Let's recap day number 1 first. Let's go in order, and we'll talk about what was shown at Ringside Fest day 1. And let's start it off. I guess we'll start with WWE Mattel Elite top picks. And top picks, ups and downs of top picks. A lot of times we get straight re-releases, but in today's video, it looks like we got some new releases as far as top picks go. And the first one we're going to talk about here is Logan Paul. And you guys know, if they can make money, be it WWE or Mattel, they're going to release things. If people thought that Ultimate Logan Paul was going to be the only Ultimate released, heck no, we're going to get more. We're going to get Basics, which we saw in the Showdown pack. Now we're getting a Logan Paul Elite for the first time. Probably not last time, but we're getting it in the top picks line, which is very interesting. I really do think sometime in 2024, maybe the end of 2024, we'll probably get an Ultimate Logan Paul again. Not the same one we got before, but a different version. I would not be shocked to see that in the future. So I guess we'll keep an eye on that in the future. But Logan Paul coming to the Elite line for the first time. Looks like we're getting extra hands, and I can't believe it. I guess that's cross-promotion at its finest. Always be hustling out there. We are getting a Prime bottle with Logan Paul here. So I guess the Threadheads of the world where you can get those aftermarket Prime bottles. Mattel getting in on that a little bit here. We are going to have a Prime bottle with Logan Paul. An interesting Logan Paul in blue and yellow. Of course, we always think of him in yellow. I guess I do at least. But we're getting a little different colors with him here. So a lot of people will be excited for that Elite Logan Paul. Got to think that's going to be a big seller. That will be a top picks. Will be everywhere. Those are the ones they want on the set, on the retail shelves all the time. That's where that's going to end up sitting. So Logan Paul coming to the Elite line. And then we turn our attention over to a top picks favorite. Good friend of the channel, old Cody Rhodes. Another figure for Cody Rhodes. This time we're getting the most out of our molds. We've had this mold done 3-4 times at this point. But we're getting him in top picks with a little different color pants. That is it, but technically a new figure. I am here for that. Makes a lot of sense. Hey, Cody completists out there. People that buy all the Elites like myself, guess what? We're going to pick up one of these Codys because it is different than the other Codys. But at this point, it's a little paint by numbers, Cody Rhodes. I think we're ready for some new Codys. And we're not done talking about Cody. We got more Cody to talk about later on in this video. But Cody Rhodes back to the top picks. And this one, I believe, I'd have to look at the detail on the trunks and maybe the knee pads. But I believe this is a re-release of that really good Sheamus we got 10 series ago or something in the Elite line, whatever it was. 5 series. What is time, as we do say. But this Sheamus was always really good. I love the jacket, love the mask, love the hat. I think this is the same one, but there could be some differences between this one here and the top picks. But it makes sense. Sheamus had quite the run for a while off TV right now, but he had a pretty strong run with the Brawling Brutes. So definitely works in the top picks department here. So Sheamus might be a pass for a lot of people. I got to think Logan Paul going to be the strongest of that top picks lineup. Now we take a look at 2 Elites, and of course these 2 were on the Ringside Fest chat. They were in the video. We've got Dirty Dom, we've got Rhea Ripley, and Rhea Ripley, I believe that's her WrestleMania attire when she won the title belt, of course. So we do get the title belt, first time to get her with the title belt, getting some of her new leg tattoos and stuff like that. It's interesting to see her in white, as she doesn't wear white a whole lot. She likes the darker colors, of course, as we do know. But I think this is a very memorable outfit and would not be shocked to see this kind of repainted, redone in black down the line. Have to think there's going to be more Rhea Ripley figures in the future. Probably even an Ultimate in the future as well, as she is very toyetic, as they do say, and there's a lot of stuff they could do with a Rhea Ripley figure. But this one looks pretty good in the white. All the tattoo work, the title belt, new head sculpt on her, it does look like, I believe, on this one. So not a bad figure for Rhea Ripley. And then old Dirty Dom himself, Dominic Mysterio, getting another figure here. We're getting a lot of Dominics, but this is straight up Judgment Day Dominic. I love that they give us kind of the Bandito extra head there. He's got the handkerchief around there. He's got the glasses going on. I assume they will have the flannel as kind of a soft goods extra there. Dare I say this could be a 2-in-1 Dominic Mysterio, but I have to think it's amazing. Dominic stole a lot of hearts. He's almost surpassed his father in some ways, at least TV time ways he has surpassed his father. Got a long ways to go, but as Jerry Reed always says, we've got a long way to go and a short time to get there. And of course, Jerry Reed always right, but who knows? Maybe one day we'll be saying, oh, that's Rey Mysterio. His son is Dominic Mysterio. Maybe that'll be the say. We'll see what happens in the future. But Dominic got a long career ahead of him, doing a lot of big things with Judgment Day, getting another Elite, and probably one of the best Elites we saw today in the video, if you ask me. So Dominic and Rhea Ripley from the Judgment Day come into the lineup sooner rather than later, so stay tuned for that. We also saw the brand new SummerSlam Build-A-Figure Wave. The Build-A-Figure Waves are always a lot of fun. We get some deep-cut characters from time to time, and this one is pretty deep and pretty cool as well, as we are getting John Cone as the Build-A-Figure in this one, and John Cone coming with all the hands under the sun, of course, so you can do all the referee stuff. But this is really great because you can use different heads on this referee body if you want to, really do guest referees, things like that. Really a whole new world of playability out there, and a lot of people have wanted referees for a long time. John Cone in the office now, but one of the most famous referees of the last 20 years, I would say, from the WWE. So very cool to see him get an action figure. And then his son Nicholas, of course, the WrestleMania Build-A-Figure this year. It's a father-son duo in the Mattel form, and we had both of those announced, of course, we remember at San Diego Comic-Con, if we remember back to that. But the rest of the SummerSlam Elite Wave is an interesting one. And a lot of these pictures they showed here today, obviously computer rendered. These aren't the figures, so some of the heads on them look absolutely wild. There's no doubt. But we are getting Lex Luger, which seems to be the star of this set for me. Really like the looks of this USA Lex Luger. Very good one. Lex Luger doesn't have a ton of looks, but has some iconic looks, especially when you add the hair, the short hair, the long hair, wolf pack, orange trunks, black trunks, then of course USA and Narcissist looks. Quite a few different little looks with the little changes here and there, but I am here for this SummerSlam one. Looks really good. And then after that, we do have X-Pac in this line, extra hands, sunglasses for X-Pac. It's been a while since we've got an X-Pac in red, and one of the more iconic looks for X-Pac coming to us in the Elite line. I'm here for that. And then the Brothers of Destruction joining up here as we do get Kane, and I was trying to rack my brain. I could easily look it up, of course, but it's been a while since we've got this kind of a Kane. We used to get a lot of these Kanes early in the Elite line, of course, the non-masked heads of Kane. We are getting one here, really throwing it back to the old days. This is probably the first Kane like this. Gosh, I don't know how many sets it's been. We've usually been getting the masked Kanes, things like that, over the Basics, Elites, and even Ultimate line. We're finally getting something a little bit different here. So some people might be happy to get a little different incarnation of Kane. I don't know if it's the Kane everybody was hoping for, but it is Kane, and it is one that we haven't had in a long time. So a lot of new collectors will probably be happy with this version of Kane. Then we do get the Undertaker, and I think you have to display Undertaker with the alternate head with the kind of crazy look where he sat up in Brock's face. Very memorable and crazy picture as well. We can recreate that moment if you want to, I guess. And we've had a lot of Undertakers that look similar to this one, so that is something different with it. That's probably how I'm going to end up displaying mine. But you buy these four, of course, you get a piece in each box. You can build your own John Cone action figure. So how about that? So an interesting SummerSlam wave. Now we turn our attention here to some basics. And some basics are always interesting, especially with the new articulation, really making the basics a little bit more elite, maybe a little bit more desirable to some collectors. And you guys know I dabble in a lot of basics, and that looks to be continuing here as we get Hayden Carter and Katana Chance. Used to be like Cats and Zaro or something, but we get them, and they have, of course, just went to the main roster on the Raw brand. Long-time NXT stalwarts, even tag team champions, of course, course, on the NXT brand back in the day. But very cool to get them a first time in the line. Will it be last time in the line? Who knows? But as usual, we talk about it all the time on the channel. A lot of those first time in the liners start in the basics, get people to buy them because they're first time in the line, then they get the elite down the line. So we'll see what ends up happening here. But we do got them two coming to the women's tag team division. That's kind of exciting there. Then we get another guy, and it looks like he'll be the chase in this one. And man, $1 Million Man Mania is really hitting home lately. We've had a lot of Ted DiBiase figures, and it is crazy how many Teds we get in suits. Obviously, very iconic to be in suits, but I'm shocked we haven't got an updated wrestling Ted DiBiase, be it with the soft goods suit or something, be it in the Elite line, the Legends line, or the Basic line. It's been a while, and I think most collectors at this point, hey, enough with the suits for Ted DiBiase. Get me a straight-up wrestling gear Ted DiBiase. It's been a long time going back to the Target exclusive. I think Hall of Fame wave was the last time we had an Elite Ted in wrestling gear. But we get Ted in his suits once again. Looks like we got him in his black and gold suit, possibly his most iconic suit, and I think a lot of that has to do with the Hasbro Series 1. And then right after that, the green suit from Hasbro, the Series 2 Hasbro from Ted DiBiase. So we get the yin and yang of the Hasbro days. Looks to be a new head sculpt on Ted. Very interesting with this digital kind of stuff. Once again, it looks a little bit wonky, a little bit crazy. We get that with Ted, but we got all the updated new articulation on Ted here as well. But I can see a lot of people saying, I don't need this. I just got the recent Legends ones. I had the Legends before that. Maybe I even got old Basics. This could be a pass for a lot of people. So we'll see. I can't wait to see actual figures in hand or in person of these instead of these digital renders. That might change some stuff here and there. We'll see what happens. And then Seth Rollins. You always got to have a Seth Rollins somewhere in a line. Of course, one of the tippy top stars like a Roman Reigns, things like that. So you get Seth Rollins once again back in the basic line. And then another one I'm excited for. We're going to finally finish off Imperium. We kind of figured this would be coming, but Giovanni Vinci, would have rather had him and Ludwig Kaiser in a 2-pack showdown instead of Gunther being in that one. Is what it is. At least we are getting him. At least we'll be able to complete Imperium, at least with basics for now. I do fully expect to see elites of these guys in the future, though. So you might want to sit back, hold on, and wait. We'll see what happens there. And then Bret Hart, once again, returns to the basics line. 2 Bret figures getting a fresh paint of coat, as they do say. Getting a little update here for Bret Hart. Not the best. Once again, they're really struggling with the Bret Hart heads. I am giving Mattel the benefit of the doubt here because these are digital renders. Once again, we'll see what they actually look like in hand. We do get Bret in 2 of his different looks. It depends. Are you here for that? Do you need a basic Bret? Are you giving up on the Brets? You guys tell me in the comments down below. But I know a good friend of the channel, David C. Anderson, he's going to be picking up these Bret Harts. He's all in on the Bret Harts. So not bad. I'll be picking them up for sure as well. But 2 reruns of Bret Harts with the new articulation and new heads going on. I'm here for that. And then we turn our attention. How about we go to a little bit of an elite action here. We go to the Mankind, Cactus Jack, and of course, Dude Love 3-pack. Now, this was first announced at San Diego Comic-Con. We're seeing some more pictures of this one. This one has been delayed to 2024. Sounds like they had to fix some of the packaging stuff, but man, packaging looks like an all-timer on this one. I really hope Ringside Collectibles brings Mick Foley into the offices and they sign a ton of these and they sell them on their site. I think that's a no-brainer. Sign him up for a signing session, have him sign a ton of these, get the 3 different autographs on 3 characters. Day 1 buyer right here. I've been holding off on that old Jack's Bone Cruncher set. I always wanted to get that with all 3 autographs. Now I'm going to turn my attention to this one. Hopefully I can get that done. I think Mick's going to really like this pack too. There's a lot of chatter about him being excited for this. The only regret or negative I have with this set right here is it's Cactus Jack. It's a great Cactus Jack. I'm glad we're getting this Cactus Jack. But for what this 3-pack is, I would have rather had a more iconic Wanted Dead shirt for Cactus Jack. Really give the 3 iconic faces of Foley. And to take one step further, I would have rather seen this as an ultimate 3-pack with ultimate editions of all 3 characters. I'm sure we'll get those eventually, but how cool would it have been an ultimate 3-pack there with the signatures, things like that you could get. Really would have been a cool one. Like I said, I love all 3 of these figures. I just wish the Cactus Jack was more the iconic one if you're going to have all 3 of them here together. As a one-off in the Legends line, Elite line, 0 issues with that Cactus Jack. But here, really wish it had the Wanted Dead. But that's the only real negative of this pack. Very, very cool. Love to see more packs like this. And Mattel is really getting around box sets as of late, and that's not a bad thing if you ask me. But now we're going to go back to another Ringside collectible exclusive here, which I'm fairly interested in as well. I'm interested in all of them, of course, but this one is going to be a showstopper for a lot of people. We're going to the Ultimate Tag Teams once again. We just had the Usos not too long ago. A lot of us were hoping for the Steiners, and day one there was no Steiner talk, unfortunately. But we are getting the Outsiders, Hall and Nash, of course, WCW Greatness, 3 heads, t-shirts, mix and match. I mean, this is one of those ones you might need to buy multiples of, so you can display different looks, things like that. Ultimates, Outsiders, going to be an all-timer set, and as we do know, 2024 is really, for Mattel, going to be the year of the Monday Night Wars. We're not even done talking about that. We know about the Walmart exclusive line. We know what's going on with that. We're going to talk about a little exclusive later on here, but we got this 2-pack of Ultimates, just a showstopper. This is going to be an all-timer for a lot of people. This hasn't even came out. We haven't even seen action figures yet, but I can see this being on a lot of 2024 top 10 list before things are all said and done. So an all-timer looking really, really good there. Speaking of Ultimate Editions, looks like Cody Rhodes coming to the Ultimate Edition again. So people that missed out on the last one, we're getting one. It looks like it's very similar, but also a little bit different. We'll see what the material's made out of, things like that. We get the extra head, of course, like we get with Ultimates. But I got to think a lot of people are going to be very happy to see another Cody Rhodes Ultimate. Cody, a tip-top guy and good friend of the channel, as we always do say. More on Cody in December. Stay tuned. But Cody looking good right here. And then we do get a good one here coming up on SmackDown, formerly in NXT, formerly in NXT UK. We got Pretty Deadly making a first time in the line, hopefully not last time in the line, and they're going straight to the Elite line, skipping over those basics. Very cool, very toyetic, very interesting tag team that I have enjoyed. Really remind me of Fandango, and Tyler Breeze back in the day with the Fashion Police. They kind of have that same kind of goofy vibe to them, obviously. These guys a little bit more on the bad side of things. But a fun tag team, really anxious to see where they go on SmackDown in the future. But I'm here for a first time in the Elite line. I think that's going to be a really fun one to have. So more on that one when that comes. And then we talked about the Brawling Brutes with Sheamus earlier. We're back there, this time Pete Dunne, or of course, as he's called, Butch. Still hard to get used to. But we get Pete Dunne in kind of a soccer hooligan look a little bit with that white gear he's been wearing. He just wore it on NXT the other night with Ridge Holland, of course, tag teaming over there. A very cool looking one. It looks like he's going to come with a breakaway cricket bat, which is a new first time in the line accessory. We're here for that. That looks pretty good, I did think. And then here's a controversial one, a lot of discussion. A lot of people are really confused with the Greatest Hits Legends line at Target right now, as we are getting Bruno Sammartino, and Bruno is going to be in the regular Elite line instead of the Greatest Hits. It'd be really interesting to find out the whole story and the reasons of that one, maybe one day. But this Bruno, when I talk about the heads on the digital renders, man, it looks pretty rough on that Bruno. I think it'll be a lot better in hand, but it looks very strange on this body here. But Bruno, basically the same figure we got before. This time we do get some green trunks instead of the blue we got last time, so to each their own on that. Now we take a look at a one that has a chase, and a guy that's never been scared to get a chase figure. It is Shinsuke Nakamura returning to the line. Really cool that we are getting his Great Muta retirement match attire. I think that is really cool. I like the striped color on that one. Both those figures are actually pretty good. Looks like you will have a robe with him as well. So to me, I'll probably put one with the robe on, one with the robe off is how I will display those in my collection. But both figures looking really, really good. Very cool look to that one. It looks like we got a new head sculpt with him as well. So that will be the chase in a future Elite line. Damian Priest, we talked about Rhea Ripley. We talked about Dominic Mysterio earlier. It looks like Damian Priest coming in hot once again to the Elite line in his full Judgment Day garb. This is the first official Judgment Day Damian Priest figure. Got to think this can be a hot seller as well. It'll be interesting to see by the time this is released what will happen with his Money in the Bank briefcase. Will he be champion by then? I guess we'll wait and see what happens there. And then another return of the line, one I'm very excited for. A guy I really do enjoy his work, Bronson Reed. Seems to be an easy repaint from the prior Elite to him. A little bit of green highlights this time. So a little bit of differences here, but I am here for this. I love big wrestlers. There's not enough wrestlers like Bronson Reed around anymore. We need more of that in wrestling, if you ask me. And just the other day, I was talking about on the channel, man, it seems like it's been forever since we got a Bayley figure. That was part of that EO unboxing we did not too long ago, a week ago. What is time on the channel? I said, man, it's time for a new Bayley. Well, You ask and I receive, I guess. We got a new Bayley figure coming. It's time for an updated Bayley. I'm here for that. Should be a good figure. It's been a heck of a long time since we've had an Elite Bayley, so should be really good in the package for that one. One that's going to excite a lot of people, especially the ones that collect belts for their action figures. We got Seth Rollins with the brand new World Wrestling Entertainment title belt. I don't even know what it's officially called. It's not called the Raw belt, but WWE Championship. I don't know, but we're getting that for the first time ever with Seth Rollins. Talked about Seth Rollins in the basic line. Seth, always selling, always moving some units, no doubt about it. I think a lot of people will pick this one up, even if they don't want the Seth, just because they want that title belt. And I'm sure we'll see that title belt in the future as well. LA Knight, we just recently got his basic, part of that first set. What was it, 141 with the new basic articulation? Well, finally getting that Elite version here with the entrance jacket, got the microphone, extra hands, all the bells and whistles for LA Knight. A top performer on SmackDown as we're currently filming this. So we got that coming there. Then we got two last things for day one here, and it looks like the DX Retro Ringside Collectible Exclusives. They're up for pre-order. Use discount code Kyle. Save yourself 10% at Ringside, as I always do say. We got those, of course, for the Retro collectors. Should be very similar to the NWO ones we got 6 months ago, 8 months ago. What is time, once again? We do have those. So we got Billy Gunn, Chyna, Road Dogg, of course, Triple H. We got the core DX members in the Retro line. So pick that up if you need it. And then one that was announced many, many moons ago. We do got the Real Scale Monday Nitro ring with Eric Bischoff Ultimate Edition figure. So a very cool one there. If you're like me, I don't have a ton of room for rings anymore. I'm almost ringed out, but I'm going to have to pick this one up. Of course, the Nitro ring looking really, really good, and I got to have that Ultimate Edition. 2-in-1 Eric Bischoff, so man, that's a tough one too. It's a 2-in-1 figure with the white shirt or NWO shirt. I think most people going to display him in the NWO shirt. There's no doubt there. But a very good, busy day for Ringside Fest day one. That was kind of the highlights of it. You guys sound off in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on some of that stuff. But now we got to turn our attention to day number 2. All right, and we are back, and it's time to recap day number 2 of Ringside Fest. Of course, Ringside Collectibles, your best place to get all your wrestling action figures. Use discount code Kyle. Save yourself 10%. But I did it old school style. I sat at my desk at work, and I copied down some notes as I watched the live stream, of course, and I got my questions and answers all written down, and not a lot of crazy questions in this Q&A. A few things talked about, but nothing absolutely earth-shattering. And I took some notes, like I said, of some heavy hitter things that I thought needed to be shared. And I don't even know if it was heavy hitters, but some things to pass on in case you missed it there. But there was a question that came up about belts. Is there going to be any updated Winged Eagles, for example? And they said, no time soon. They did make mention, of course, the production facilities. You know, everything has a mold, and everything's mold has an expiration date. It gets worn out, and they got to get new molds. They said, hey, when that day comes, there needs to be a new Winged Eagle, for example. They will update that. They will get us a new Winged Eagle belt. So stay tuned. At the end of the day, for that is what you're going to have to do. And a question came in about upgraded ring packs. Of course, a lot of people, now that we have, you know, the new gen ring, we had the Raw ring, the upcoming Nitro ring, could we get some bonus packs, maybe to turn it into an ECW ring, things like that? That question's come up quite a few times. That is a future goal of Mattel, maybe some deep cut rings, maybe a WCW Thunder ring apron to go with your Nitro one, a thing like that in the future, maybe a Ringside exclusive, Mattel Creations exclusive. It's not off the table at the end of the day, they did say. Then after that, the question came up, how about play sets? What about some big old play sets? They have some ideas, but nothing to announce, nothing anytime soon. And once again, maybe Ringside Mattel Creations could be the place for that. Maybe stores. Stores getting more receptive to some of that stuff, as we've seen. They talked about a torso change on Roman Reigns. We know we're getting kind of a semi-re-release of Roman Reigns in the Ultimate Edition. Bill McKenna, good friend of the channel, Bill McKenna, and future... Bill McKenna, good friend of the channel, and big Terry Funk fan, so you know he's a good guy at the end of the day. He did show off the new torso for Roman Reigns, so there's going to be a little tweak there, which is okay for me. I'll buy another Roman. I'll be able to display both head sculpts that way. That's kind of my answer for that. But we did see a new torso change there, and possibly the biggest announcement in the Q&A section here was Bill did show off the brand new Asuka, and it looks like Asuka's going to have some butterfly shoulders with her. But talk about a serious Ultimate Edition here with the mask, the face paint, of course, the normal outfit, but then the huge entrance jacket, I believe this is from Royal Rumble, just an all-timer, this Asuka. Early contender for 2024 Ultimate of the Year. We'll see where that ends up shaking out, but it looks like an amazing figure from what Bill showed off here in the video. They did dive into Elite 106 a little bit, showed off some of that. They showed off Roxanne Perez, first time in the line, coming very soon, but they showed her with the new NXT Women's title belt. They showed that off. They showed some removable hair for the Usos, of course. We've heard about that coming. We saw that at San Diego Comic-Con with Kevin Nash for, of course, the Monday Night Nitro line. We saw that in the past with Doink and even RVD and his ponytails and stuff. So removable hair is going to be a new big thing. We got some of that coming in the future. And one of those is Otis from 107. They showed that off. Bill McKean showed him. Looks like he'll have interchangeable hair as well. Talked about Cora Jade, another first time in the line from NXT, looking pretty good. 30th anniversary of The Undertaker. We do got that one there, and he's going to have that special t-shirt from his live show as well. So we're getting another Undertaker, a retired Undertaker in the line as well. And they got the new headband combo with his ponytail. Some new stuff going on with that one. That should be interesting for a few people. Showed off Grayson Waller once again, first time in the line. We're getting him as the regular and Chase edition, so we'll see him in 107. That should be a really good figure. I'm here for that one. Some new blood in the line, and a lot of new blood in 106, 107, it's looking like here. We did see Finn Balor, Judgment Day Finn Balor. That's a much requested, long awaited, highly anticipated figure. Love the crazy pinhead-like mask going on with him. A lot of different looks to this Finn Balor. Could be an all-timer. We'll see how that one comes out. They did show, of course, Solo. Solo one, very controversial, possibly the most controversial wrestling figure of 2023, some could say, as people did not like the body size. Well, they went back to the well, they fixed it, they've upgraded it, and like I said, in my head, I put that first Solo as rookie NXT Solo, a little bit skinnier. This one coming, this is going to be Bloodline Solo in my collection, probably a lot of you guys as well. A question came up that was really interesting to me. Pre-80s legends in the line soon coming. We got Bruno Sammartino coming. Any more of those coming? And Bill and Steve both kind of perked up around that one, and they said an announcement coming very, very soon. Stay tuned, man. I'm here for that. Of course, I wasn't alive in the 70s, but I got a lot of respect for some of the old characters from back in the day. My guess is have to be, take it to the bank, a 3-pack, a Funk family 3-pack. We're going to have Terry Funk, of course. You got to have Dory Funk Sr. and Dory Funk Jr., licensed to print money for Mattel. I got to think that's coming here. That's some 70s greatness right there. Or probably not at all, unfortunately. That's what I want, personally, but I don't think that's in the cards. But they did say it would go with that Bruno Sammartino. So to me, that harkens back to one Larry Zbyszko. I would not be shocked to see Bruno and Larry Zbyszko. That could be one. Of course, we got a Larry Zbyszko Elite way back in the day in that Target exclusive pack. Maybe Zbyszko coming on board for Mattel in the Legends line to go with that Bruno. Trying to think who else would go with Bruno. Not really sure. I don't know if you're going to get a David Sammartino to go with him. You're going to get an old school Stan Hansen, an old school Nikolai Volkov, superstar Billy Graham come back. I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see who comes to the line, but I wonder if it'd be Larry Zbyszko. That was a very famous match, as we know. Old Shea Stadium. Shea Stadium hadn't been rocked like that since the Beatles back in the 60s, is what I was always told. Or when Tom Seaver was there. Oh, shout out Tom Seaver. How about that? Larry Zbyszko, though, maybe. We'll see. Ask a question once again about Eddie. Are we getting a lowrider for Eddie? They understand that's a wanted one. It sounds like that is like right at the top of the priority list of play sets and vehicles. Wouldn't be shocked to see that from the Reckon line one of these days. I have to think that would be an easy one to do. I guess we'll wait and see, but nothing to announce here today. They did ask about Cody Rhodes. Once again, a good friend of the channel, Cody Rhodes. They asked about Pharaoh, his dog. Are we ever going to see him? And they kind of joked that he needs more TV time, but sounds like never say never. And Steve brought up a great point, and Steve, I think, would agree with me on this point if he's watching this video. If he is, shout out to Steve. But Steve was probably much like me with G.I. Joe's. Man, get me animals all day long. He's here for animals. He talked about getting Chloe and some of the other animals in the line. So much like me, I'm here for all the animals. Back in the G.I. Joe days, that would convince me to buy a G.I. Joe if he had an animal, because I think there's a lot of people looking for dogs and cats and probably crocodiles too, and bald eagles and wolves and dogs, you name it. People are looking for that. So it sounds like we might get a Pharaoh in the future. That'd be great in an Ultimate Edition pack. we'll see what happens in the future with that. They asked about the Nitro stage, and we knew that would be coming up. Are they going to reconsider doing that? Sounds like the answer is no. As of right now, no plans to go back to stages, anything like that. We'll have to see what they do for crowdfunding, possible Mattel creations in the future. Just have to hang tight on that. Talked about NXT talent. Yes, more NXT talent is coming. They talked about the transition to NXT 2.0, how that kind of delayed some figures for the NXT line because they were new characters. They weren't ready for the pegs yet. Now a lot of those are, and we're seeing that with the Cora Jades, the Braun Breakers things. Gotta imagine we'll get some more of those in the future, so we'll stay tuned to that. Then the final question, that's it. It was a pretty easy Q&A, as I did say. Macho Man Randy Savage, any update on that Ultimate Edition? Any updates? They said no updates. When they have updates, they will share it. So it sounds like there's an impasse there. But at the end of the day, as we always say, you got to follow that money. If there's money to be made from Mattel, there's money to be made from WWE, there's money to be made for the Macho Man estate, have to think the Triangle of Doom will come together. They will get that figured out. But I fully expect Macho Man coming back one of these days. Who knows when? We'll just have to wait and see. But that was day 2 of Ringside Fest, the Q&A portion. Some big news and some stuff we already knew. I wouldn't say it was an earth-shattering Ringside Fest, but it's always fun to get some new announcements, some new stuff. Probably the highlight to me was probably the Outsiders Ultimate 2-pack. That is going to be an all-timer for a set there. The Foley 3-pack is going to be a big one. Personally, a big Mick Foley fan. I can't wait to get that. I'm not a big autograph guy, but I'm going to need to get that set autographed in 2024. I can't wait for that. I'm kind of excited for some of the new, fresh NXT blood coming to the Elite line from NXT. I think that'll be a good one. So there's some good stuff coming here. Of course, if you like your Cody Rhodeses, you like your Seth Rollins, you like your Bloodline figures, you're going to be happy about some of these announcements as well. But not a total earth-shattering announcements from the Ringside Fest, but some cool stuff to look forward to very soon. And I have to imagine we'll probably see Elite 106 before year's up. And then, of course, we got to get into our top 10, top 5 best of list. I think I got about 25 of those videos I'm going to have to do. So I'm hoping to really get a big start over Thanksgiving weekend. Hopefully I got some time. Going to really hammer a lot of those out. So look forward to that stuff on the channel and possibly the channels. Make sure you subscribe to both of those YouTube channels that we got going on right now. Make sure you like this video and let me know in the comments your thoughts on Ringside Fest. What are you picking up? What are you excited for? What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments down below. And of course, don't forget about Patreon for early access to the videos here on the channel, bonus content, exclusive content, giveaways, Q&As, but best of all, it is your best way to support this very YouTube channel and all the content it does bring. You can also support the channel at ProWrestlingTees.com, search Kyle Peterson, and don't forget social media, SirPaul64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, and on Instagram. So for Ringside Fest 2023, I am Kyle. See you guys all real soon.